Hi, Jacob. Sachin, how are you?
Hi, how you doing?
Good evening, Prashantji.
Jack, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, just let me know. I believe, right, I can just share my screen and then begin that way. Is that right?
Sachin?
Yes, I'm here, Prashantji. Can you hear me?
Let me call.
Well,
Jack.
yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Prashant, I can hear you fine.
Sachin, you are audible, don't worry.
Vijay, you can hear me as well, right? I would assume.
Yeah, Jacob, you are very loud and clear, no problem.
Great. Hey, Prashant. I can hear you fine.
I can hear you, Jacob, and I could hear Prashant. I just re-entered the Zoom meeting just in case I had a problem with my connection.
Sachin, you are loud and clear, so no problem.
Okay, thank you. Can hear Jacob as well?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Prashantji, can you hear us? Because I think he's on mute right now. But
Yeah, he's muted. He's on a call.
okay.
Okay, I can try. If you want, I can leave. And okay, I can leave and okay. Okay. Let me try it one more time. 1 second. Prashant just called me and said that he can't hear me. So I just want to confirm. Sachin, you can hear me fine, right? Because
I can hear you fine. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, I think it's actually coming from Prashant's side. If he's having audio issues, maybe he muted me by accident.
Jacob, we can hear you loud, no problem.
Okay. Yeah, perhaps Prashant, when he may have muted me by accident. But okay.
Prashant sir, you are able to hear Jacob? I think he's got an audio problem. He's
Yeah,
not
I think it's his side, not our side.
I'll
Okay.
message him. Don't worry.
Okay.
Hello. Who?
Meeting has not started.
We are almost at 5:15. Can we start, sir?
Jacob, we cannot hear you still.
No, Jacob is very audible. I think there is a problem with your system. Can you log in, log out? Oh, no, but you can't log out now.
I think Prashant maybe did a mute all or muted some people by accident. I think that's the issue, but I could be wrong.
Sir, you are able to hear us?
Okay, now can you, Jacob, speak up, please?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
Okay, now it's good.
Okay, good.
We begin now.
Okay.
Yeah, so let Vijay start. Vijay, go ahead, please.
Very warm welcome and good evening to everybody. This is the part of the weekly webinar series that we have been hosting now for a few months. We are today going to be addressing one of the most popular destinations and requirement for people, that is US. And we have with us Jacob Almaraz and Sachin Chandravarkar from Paragon Principal Capital. They are the guys who will be briefing you on the EB5 latest updates as well as the options for EB5 which are available, the alternates which are available to you. Also leading the discussions and the talk today is Mr. Prashant Pajmera himself. He's, as you know, the chairman, founder of Ajmera Capital and Ajmera Law Group, rather. He's a reputed immigration lawyer, a Canadian citizen, and founder chairman of Ajmera Law Group, with over 25 years of experience in the field of corporate and immigration law, international trade, and assisting Indian startups to go global. He has also authored 2 books, Millionaires on the Move and How to Plan Your Children's Foreign Education in 2020. He recognized the future of foreign residency and citizenship by investment and conducted the very first EB-5 investment program seminar in India in 1999 in Mumbai. He carries a profound understanding of the laws and multiple foreign jurisdictions and has helped numerous HNIs to achieve their goals. At the same time, he has also forged very strong alliances with reputed law firms, developers, and professionals from across the world. Mr. Ajmera has been a speaker, advisor, moderator at various immigration shows and events held in India and abroad, including Invest in USA. He also has contributed numerous articles related to immigration, why Indian HNIs should consider investing globally, and how foreign companies can enter the Indian global market. With this, having said all this, I would request Mr. Ajmera to take these proceedings forward and also give further introduction to our speakers today. Prashant sir, over to you.
Thank you, Vijay, and sorry for this little bit of confusion on the voice. So once again, welcome to Jack Almara from the Paragon Partners and Sachin. Thank you for joining today's weekly webinar of Ajmera Law Group. As Vijay has already given an introduction, so I'm not going to go over all over again. But we do on a regular basis this Saturday weekly webinar on various issues on or various subject matters on residency and citizenship by investment in different countries, US and Canada as being the most popular one. So that's we repeat time and again, depending on the request from the clients and our viewers and attendees. As you all know that after the last November 2019, EB5 has gone through the major changes and there is a substantial increase in the amount to be invested to get the immigration under the Eb5 program, the US green card. And that's why the demand from India probably has gone a little bit down. Obviously, it is being affected by the coronavirus and so forth. But I was quite amazed and surprised to see that many of these companies who are involved into the EB5 programs has now come up with the various opportunities for the Indian investors to not only make an investment into an EB5, but also into the real estate in India, real estate in USA. And that gives a very good options for the many investors from India to make an investment into USA real estate market. We have done some presentation before with respect to the EB5 program in the past. So today the Jacob is going to talk about the EB5 program, which they run and manage it with the properties or real estate in Los Angeles, California, where some of our client has made an investment. And it's good to see that not only that program is being successful, but the approval are being received. And the investors who are here must recognize and understand that the EB5 in the last year in June, it was declared by the USCIS that there's going to be a 4 or 5 years waiting period for the EB5. And suddenly in this March or in April 2020, the EB5 visa has become current for the Indian citizen. So what has happened to this 1,200 or 1,300 applications which were there in a pipeline? Obviously, those applications are being rejected. So there is a huge number of EB5 rejections where the investor has made an investment into projects of their friends and relatives without understanding the complexities of the EB5 program, that what it requires to become an investors under the EB5 program, receive approval of the petition, and then go further, and after 2 years do the removal of the conditions and become a successful green card holder in America and eventually become a citizen. So it's very, very important. When we select the projects and we work with the partners in USA, we do not work anybody and everybody. We have a number of offers coming to our office as an Ajmera Law Group to work with them. They try to motivate us by offering a big commission as well. But we choose the program and the whole things on the basis of how good the project is, who are the people behind the project, who are the construction companies are there, who are managing it, who are the financial people, banks involved into that one, who has prepared the EB5 immigration document, who has prepared the economic analysis, who has prepared the regulatory requirement of the EB5 projects. When we look into all these things and then we bring this project to our clients, it's not that I know Mr. So-and-so, so my money is safe. Wish it was that simple. And out of those few partners in USA we work with, the Paragon Partners is one of our selected partners for doing an EB5 projects, which I visited in 2018 personally, and visited the several properties which they were developing under the EB5. And one of the main thing was that the company who is involved with them is a public listed construction company of USA relevant. And that company itself gives us a lot of confidence. And then obviously we have looked into the various other aspects, that their past history, that it doesn't make any difference for our clients in getting their green card. In middle of all these things, when many of these investors are waiting for in their own projects for 2 years, 3 years for an EB5, when our clients made an investment with the Paragon Partners in USA, they received their green card approval, I-526 approval in less than 14 months. 14 months. Less than 14 months we received it, because the project is rock solid. Past history is very good. The job is being created. The people who are involved, professionals who are involved in promoting the projects and developing the projects are doing the work in a very timely manner. So this is what I wanted to just give you a background that who is the Paragon Partners is, and the EB-5 project is what they are involved into it. Apart from this ones, now they are offering the other opportunities into the real estate market in USA. So without taking much time, I'll leave it up to the Jacob to give his own personal introduction and then start the presentation. Jacob, the floor is yours, please.
Okay. Thank you, Prashant, for the introduction. Yes, so as Paragon, we've raised over about $1 billion in fundraising through our multiple channels, immigration, EB-5, our E2 options, and our private equity options, two of which I'll share with you guys today. And so, yeah, we've had a wealth of experience from the private equity side, the real estate side, and also the immigration side. To date, we have 100% approval rate for our immigration services. So I think that speaks well with who we are, and also our partners like Prashant and the wealth of experience that they carry. So without too much further intro, I will begin talking a bit about the EB5 project, our latest EB5 offering. But before I begin on the project itself, I do want to mention some of the latest news. And Prashant, you can add your words of wisdom to this as well. EB5 now, because of the situations of this year, the wait time for Indian nationals, those born in India, it has been reducing quite drastically. And the other important piece of news is last month, the USCIS declared that unsecured loans are fit for the EB5 in EB5 investment. So previously that was an issue for clients taking unsecured loans, but now USCIS has clarified that is okay for the EB5 $900K investment. So let me begin here with, I need to do a share screen here, so bear with me here for a second. Where's the, hey Sachin, do you know where the share screen option is on this?
At the bottom, it should be at the bottom.
Yeah, just,
Yes, I got it. Done this many a times and I somehow couldn't remember. Okay, so let me begin here with talking about our latest Db5 project. This is Stagio 25. This project is located in Seattle, Washington, and it's about 15 minutes away from downtown. So it's in a great location, and it's directly next to this Mount Baker station here, which is part of the name of the project. And that is significant because that is the light rail line, or essentially the subway system, the public transportation system of Seattle, which is a quite modern public transportation system, and it connects the entire city. So it's a very key location and a very strategic one for this project. And it is in a safe TEA area. The unemployment in this area is well above the required threshold to qualify for TEA. And then you can see here from this rendering, there's two buildings actually. So Stagio 25 is a residential apartment building complex, about 300 units. The first building here to the left is already done. It finished in June, and it's 92% leased out as of 2 weeks ago. So it's done quite well. This building, the one closer to us, is it just finished construction this month, and it just received its certificate of occupancy, meaning the local government has to come into it and inspect, make sure it's ready for people to be moved, for tenants to come in. Has that, and it's just now bringing in its first tenants. So, one of the key points of any real estate project is the construction. You know, is it on time? Is it over budget? Are there other issues, zoning issues, things like that? Well, that is completely not an issue at this point because the construction is done. Seattle, I won't go into too much on Seattle, but the key points, you know, it is one of the fastest growing cities in the United States on the West Coast. It's a very strong local economy, very well educated workforce as well. You have Amazon, you have Starbucks, you have Boeing, Expedia, Microsoft, all Fortune 500 companies that I'm sure you're very well aware of many of them. Yes, as mentioned, 301 apartment unit complex, 217 parking spaces for vehicles, and you know, very close to downtown, about 7 minutes with the public transportation and light rail system, very close to the University of Washington, and also connects to the surrounding areas as well, like Amazon, Boeing, Microsoft. Most of the tenants that are moving into this particular apartment complex are young professionals and usually like graduate students because it is close to the University of Washington. So it's sort of that, it's certainly kind of a middle-class market. In terms of other key points of this project, there are actually many. But one of them, and I'll share with you in a second, the capital stack, but you can see here we have this HUD loan. This is important because HUD loan is the US government, Housing and Urbanization Department. So that is our senior lender, is the US government. So it's a very low, long-term, low interest loan, which is important in terms of the project risk, right? You're not highly leveraged. You're not going to have the bank knocking on your door, you know, asking for their money back or you know, having to deal with high interest rates on the loan. But also, you know, to get these loans, these HUD loans, is very competitive, and the government just doesn't give this money away. It speaks to the strength of the project itself, but also the location, right? This is an area that they really want to develop. The federal government as well as the state government. So, you know, it really checks those boxes that, you know, matter for EB-5, but also for the U.S. government giving out senior lending. Here's a quick rendering of Mount Baker Station, quite a modern public transportation system. You can see here in the map, Mount Baker Station is here, very close to downtown. You have University of Washington not too far away as well, the airport on the other side of the city, all connected by the rail system. And this rail system has plans to extend to further north and further south, which would connect the Microsoft and the Amazon offices as well. So the developer for this project is Reeve. Reeve is the two partners of Reeve are Michael Ross and Robert Spitzer, both lawyers. They've been doing development projects since 1988. And both of them have received multiple awards for their legal practices and their legal work, as well as their real estate developments. They've done over about 1,000 units of mainly residential. That's what they focus on. So senior living, townhome units, apartment complexes, things like that. There's a few other projects that they've done. And then we come to us as well. So Paragon, being the regional center of this project, we've, as I'm kind of alluded to earlier, we've done about $1 billion in fundraising for multiple projects, 100% approval rate. On the call today is me, myself, and Sachin, who is our managing director for India and the Middle East. In the past, we've done many projects. We've done a few hotel projects in Los Angeles, as well as the Embassy Suites in Chicago, and a few other projects on the East Coast as well. I alluded to this earlier, but the project, yeah, it's a 2-building complex, 300 units in total, and you know, it's going to be relatively upscale, relatively modern in terms of its utilities and its appliances. It will also have a rooftop garden, as well as a public gym and a few other amenities. And the other thing too is it ranges. They have everything from studio all the way to 2-bedroom apartments. And the starting price is roughly around 1,400 to 1,500 USD. So about the project itself, total project cost is 103 million. So that's the total investment portfolio. EB-5 portion is just a small part of that. 19.5 million is the EB-5 loan. And of course, the investment term is a standard five-year term at 1% per year in interest. Skip to this part. So this is the HUD loan, as I mentioned, makes up the portion, the bulk of the financing, which is the senior lender from the government. You have EB-5 investment, which is 19%, and then the equity as well. And this is also has the I-924 approval for this project. And the other important points of this project is we have I-526 denial guarantee for this project. If there's ever an issue with your I-526 application. And also there is this is key, there's a third-party refund guarantee for this project as well. Third party being key. It's not guaranteed by the developer, which would be an issue with EB-5 legalities, but it's a third-party guarantee that pledges to refund your capital if there's an issue with the project. So it further safeguards the client's capital. This is the appraisal for the project. The appraisal came in, this is about a year and a half ago. So I think more recent appraisals will be even higher in value, but 116 million appraisal. And if we did one of the extra strategies would be a refinance. We can either do a refinance or a sell. If we did a refinance at conservative 80% of loan to value, we first paid back the HUD loan, we would still have about $25 million in excess capital to repay on a 19.5 million EB-5 loan. So there's comfortable margin to be had there as well. And the other thing to mention is there's about 520 jobs already created for this project that are essentially waiting for you. And there's a total of 27 investors coming into this project. So a minimum requirement would be 270 jobs. We're already well above that threshold. So we'll be about over 20 jobs per investor. So that's another very comfortable margin for the investor to come into. So yeah, prime location is a great location just outside of downtown Seattle, which is in a great, local city with a local economy. We have the government support with the HUD loan. That also speaks volumes about the strength of the project and the government willing to give us money. And it's already fully financed. Right now, the EB-5 portion is under a bridge loan. So any money that we come in with the EB-5 funds, we'll just take out the bridge loan. But if we stop fundraising today, it wouldn't matter. The project will go on as continued. So, and then Reeve as well is a great partner. They've been great to work with, two very strong lawyers and a great reputation and experience. Now, just a quick introduction. I'm sure you guys could have questions and be happy to answer those as well.
So you finished, or you are going to do any other?
EB-5 portion, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Jack. Which looks like a project is very good. So I'll ask you questions. If we can stop the screen sharing, then we can get everybody on the screen, and then we can talk about it.
I think it's done, huh? Okay.
Yeah. Right. So as I understand, like as you said, that it's basically 900,000 investment for an EB-5, right?
Correct.
So sir, is this area comes under the a regional centers requirement of these new definitions, which is required under the new law?
I'm sorry, what?
The requirement of the 900,000. So it meets the new requirement, right?
Yes, yes. Everything is under all the necessary parameters for the new law, right? The new regulations state that it's a 900K for TEA, targeted employment area. And this is a targeted employment area, meaning the unemployment is above a certain threshold that qualifies it for a 900K investment versus standard of $1.8 million investment.
Okay. And like when the construction is, construction is already started, when the occupancy is going to be there?
So yeah, construction is done. It just finished this month, and the first building is 91% leased out. So it's done it's done great. It finished in June, and it's been leased out during even COVID. So it just really is a strength of the project and the demand for the area, the housing of the area. And then the second building is done, and is starting to lease out its first tenants in the last 2 to 3 weeks. So we should be, if it follows the same path as the first building, then we'll be fully leased out within a few months' time.
Okay, so you are not selling the buildings, the units, but it's going to be renting out only.
It's all leasing, right? That's correct.
It's all leasings, and who will have the ownership? Will have the ownership of the building. Am I correct?
Yeah, in a partnership with a property management company that will sort of manage.
Right. Okay. So there's no, there's no need to sell out the units, or we don't have to wait on that one because it's going to be on a leasing basis only.
Correct.
So as you said, that 1,400 is for a studio apartment to rent there, right?
Yeah, that's the starting price, and then it goes up to, I think, $2,500 to $3,000, something like that.
Okay. Right, and the return what we're talking about is a 1% to the investors, right, for a period of 5 years.
That's right.
Right. Is there any preferred attorneys like you have it on your panel, or the investors are free to choose their own attorney?
We can provide recommendations, but it's up to the client.
Up to the investors. Okay. So anybody else having a questions, they can raise their hands or write it in a chat box, or can speak up as well.
પર ફેમિલી હોય છે ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ.
So કીધું વિરેનભાઈ,
ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ કઈ રીતનું પર પર્સન હોય પર ફેમિલી?
પર આખું ફેમિલી હોય, હસબન્ડ વાઇફ અને ચિલ્ડ્રન 21 ની નીચેના હોય, બધા આવી જાય. $9 લાખ નું ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ થાય.
$9 લાખ?
$9 લાખ, યા.
એટલે આપણા ઇન્ડિયન કરન્સી ની અંદર
લગભગ 7 કરોડ જેવું થયું.
7 કરોડ.
હા, એક્ઝેક્ટલી.
કોઈ એગ્રીમેન્ટ ખરું?
ઓબ્વિયસલી એગ્રીમેન્ટ હોય ને, એગ્રીમેન્ટ વિના તો સાહેબ કેવી રીતે થાય? એક નહીં, નંબર ઓફ એગ્રીમેન્ટ થશે જે તમારી જ્યારે પિટિશન તમે મૂકો એમાં બતાવવા પડે. એગ્રીમેન્ટ તો હોય જ ને. અને આ જે બી આખું ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન થશે એ બી બેઝિકલી બેન્કિંગ ચેનલથી જ થશે. એમાં એક પણ પૈસો રોકડો લેવામાં નથી આવતો.
અચ્છા. અને આની અંદર પ્રોફિટ શેરિંગ છે કે કઈ રીતનું ઓનરશિપ છે?
બેઝિકલી આ તમે એમને લોન તરીકે પૈસા આપો છો 5 વર્ષ માટે, અને 5 વર્ષ પછી તમને $1% નું વાર્ષિક વ્યાજ આપે છે, અને 5 વર્ષ પછી તમને $5 લાખ પાછા આપે.
અચ્છા. તો આનાથી પછી આ પ્રોજેક્ટ કવર થઈ જાય, કમ્પ્લીટ થાય પછી આપણે ત્યાં બીજા કોઈમાં સ્વિચિંગ કરવું હોય તો
એ તમારી મરજીની વાત છે. તમારા $5 લાખ તમને મળી જાય અને તમારે બીજે કોઈ પ્રોજેક્ટમાં પૈસા નાખવા હોય તો તમે નાખી શકો છો.
ઓકે, એટલે એમાં પછી વિઝા ઇમિગ્રેશન નું એવું જ નથી ને કે આ એક પ્રોજેક્ટ કમ્પ્લીટ થાય ત્યારબાદ રીપ્રોસેસિંગ બીજા પ્રોજેક્ટ માટે?
એક વખત તમને ગ્રીન કાર્ડ મળી ગયું એટલે તમારું ગ્રીન કાર્ડ હંમેશ માટે છે સાહેબ. એમાં એવું નથી કે તમારું ગ્રીન કાર્ડ જતું રહેશે.
ના. ઓકે.
Vijay?
Yeah, no, I was just asking Ketan bhai if he has any questions because he's got clients who are keen on such visas. Ketan bhai, any questions you have?
No, not now.
Can you explain the secured interest of EB5 investors? How is this? There's a question in the chat box, Jack. You want to answer
Oh,
that?
can you explain the secured interest of the EB? How is this? Is it different than regular interest? Well, so in terms of, I'm just kind of thinking about how what is this exact question? So for this one, I mean, yeah, it's 1% interest paid per year. How it actually is structured with this particular project, if we were to get into details, you know, most Eb5 projects is a loan term, 5-year loan term, and whatever percent interest that is provided. This particular project is actually preferred equity. So it's preferred equity, but it acts like a loan. So there's 1% per year paid out to the client at a maturity date, 5-year being the maturity date. So it's slightly different in structure, but it acts the same as sort of a standard EB5 loan.
Okay. Yeah, so it's a preferred equity because you cannot give it as a loan, right? It has to be an investment. So it has to be a preferred equity or a regular equity for people to get it, right?
Can I just ask you a question? This is Kirit Patel.
Yes, Kirit bhai.
Yeah, how are you, everybody? Jacob, one thing is that you mentioned in the discussion that it's unsecured loan. It will be as an equity or it will be as an unsecured loan?
I would go ahead, Prashant, because this is more for you.
Unsecured loan is Kirit bhai, what used to be before that, it was not allowed before under the old rules of the EB5, right?
Okay.
Now, if you say borrow the money from your bank and the bank is giving you a money or anybody is giving you a money, you don't have to show that you have an assets necessary to give as a collateral for that one. So that is the big change in the EB5 rules and regulations, because between 2015 and 2019, in the 4 years, many people wanted to borrow the money, but they could not borrow the money because they didn't have the necessary assets in their name. So that wasn't possible. But now there is a judgment from the federal government in the USA, and that allows that even if you have an unsecured loan taken from a banks or private lenders, you can make an investment of that one and invest into an EB5, which is a big relief and a big change in the original thinking of the EB5 and making an investment, because many people in India could not make an investment just because they didn't have the necessary assets to borrow the money.
Yeah, one thing is that it means that I can borrow money in India against my asset, or anyone can give me unsecured loan which I can invest in USA.
Yes.
So it's allowed now.
Yeah, it is allowed. Yeah, but it is possible that if the money is coming from your friend, then the USCIS may come and ask you a question that whether your friend has a capacity to give you a money or not. So if the money is coming from a legitimate source from your friends or relatives or even a bank or a financial institute, whatever it is, yes, it is possible to borrow the money basically.
Another, Jacob, you mentioned one thing, that is a third-party guarantee is available in this project. So what's the third-party guarantee works?
It's basically you can take it, Jack will answer, but I'll tell you, like say for example, you buy your house or you buy your car and you take an insurance from an insurance company, right?
Yes.
So similarly under the EB5, if the present company, which is a REIT developer, if they give a guarantee to you, then it will not qualify for an EB5 because money should be at the commercial risk. So in this case, the third party, which is like an insurance company who is giving guarantee to you that for any reason this project doesn't go further, and if anything happens to you or your money cannot be recovered, then they will repay back to you. So that's kind of a third party insurance, you can say. Jacob, if you want to add something to it.
I think you answered it quite well. That's exactly how it is structured for us, right? We have a third party entity that is legally binding to, in the case that the project itself could not refund the capital or refund the capital fully, that they would step in and then refund your capital of 900K. So if the project for some reason could only refund 700,000, then the third party would be liable to refund the additional 200,000 or something like this.
And another thing what you mentioned in this, the targeted business area, this is for $900,000, and regular it is $1.8 million.
That's right.
Right.
So if this doesn't come under the targeted business area, so if I go to any regular EB-5, I have to invest $1.8 million.
No, it's 900,000.
No, he mentioned that 1.8 million is a regular EB-5 thing. What's that about?
So like if you want to open up your business in a Los Angeles downtown or a Chicago or a New York, which is a highly dense area, then, and if you want to create 10 jobs, then your investment should be 1.8. But if you create in an area where there is a higher unemployment or a targeted employment area, what they call it under the new definitions, then the investment amount is reduced from 1.8 million to 900,000. Under the old rule, it used to be $1 million and $500,000. Now it is 1.8 and 900,000.
Thanks, both of you, for giving me clarifications. Thank you.
For the third party guarantee, is the client has to pay anything, or it's just taken care by the company for these developers? There's a question for the third party guarantee.
No additional capital. There's no additional fees or
there's no premium to be paid or anything like that.
No.
No. Okay.
The reason that is the case is because, Reeve as a developer wants to obviously make this an attractive investment. So it's in their best interest to provide the best option for the client.
Right. Yeah, but as you said that the project is already, like, one building is already finished. The occupancy certificate is already there. And the project itself is the Urban Development Authority of USA has given a loan to you guys into the projects. So that itself again makes it a very viable project. So the sound projects. Number two, as you mentioned that I visited Seattle like several times, and I know the dynamics of the city. It's full of young techies, like as if you are in Bangalore, in India.
Yeah, Microsoft, Amazon. Right?
Microsoft, Amazons, and everything. And actually in Seattle, Jack, with the American Life, I have done several projects with them, and they were all in the SoDo area, south of downtown area. And your apartment, I can see in the map, it's not very far from there. Yeah. And there is an acute shortage of the residentials. I haven't done any project residential in Seattle. All our projects were the commercial one. But yes, I can see that there is going to be a great demand for these projects and for the accommodations, for the rent out. You should not have any difficulties.
Well, that's the reason we got the HUD loan, right? I mean, part of it was the strength of the project, but the other is the more macro view that the city of Seattle, especially that portion of Seattle, really needs affordable residential living. So that's the reason that we got that loan.
Right. Yeah. Because I know that Seattle's like when you are between the airport coming towards the downtown, that old Boeing Field area, which is known as the old Boeing Field area, still looks like 30, 40 years behind the time and everything, right? And those that area needs a lot of developments, and the American Life has probably raised more than $10 billion by creating at least about 50-55 projects in and around that area. And all of them were commercial ones. They were never into the residential because Henry Liebman, he never understood or never liked the residential. His always preference was this one. And I know that there's now two big, the football fields are there as well. Not very far from your project. So I know the area.
That's good. That's good. You know what? Personal experience. Yeah.
Personal hands. I mean, so like I used to stay in Marriott there, which was developed by the American Life, and I stayed several times. I stayed there in that hotels, which is near the office and near their American Life's office, and visited the project. And one of the last one they did it just before the closing down was the 255 King Street, which is a hotel.
There's another question.
Yeah.
Oh, I see it. Yeah. Okay. So the HUD loan, this has nothing to do with the investor themselves. This is a senior loan to the project, and it's not who will. It's already happened. This money has already been secured, it's just like any sort of project, any real estate project. You normally have equity, and you normally have maybe a mezz loan or a mezzanine loan, and a more standard bank loan, bank debt. So this is sort of in lieu of a bank loan or a developer loan. So it's just.
Yeah. Thank you.
But further to your point, Prashant, I was going to mention too, as you're speaking, actually both buildings are done. So Stajin 25 encompasses two buildings, the north building and the south building, and they're both done. They're both done now. One of them is already 91% leased out. That building, the first building, finished in June. The second building just finished earlier this month, and got their certificate of occupancy, and they've just been leasing out their first tenants last week, right before the U.S. holiday, Thanksgiving holiday. So last week was their first tenants.
It's a great demand. I mean, demand is unbelievable in Seattle.
Yeah,
I have seen it like a firsthand so many times.
It's kind of like Silicon Valley as well, because you have so many of these. Amazon is huge, and it's, like you said, tech and Microsoft and Boeing, as well as there's a burgeoning startup field within Seattle as well.
Yeah. So, Sachin, you want to just give introduction about yourself, just for everybody to know?
Sure. Hi. So I've been with doing EB-5 for India clients as well as Middle East for 10 years now. So we've been doing various projects across the many years, that's been my primary focus. The interesting thing about, I just want to say a couple of things about the project is that number one is that since it's a residential project, unlike hotels and other projects like that, here the leasing started during this COVID times, and to find high quality residents to come in was not that much of a task. But whoever has come in has been high quality, and it's right now cash flowing and income generating. That's the good thing. The second thing is that as a project itself, designed for EB-5 in a very nice way, because you have a north and a south building. So down the line, what happens is that there is, when you're looking at exit and when investors are looking for their funds back, you can either refinance the whole project, or you have the option of selling one of the buildings. So it gives you multiple ways to be able to help clients to be able to get their money back.
Thank you, Sachin. Any other questions or anything else we want to add?
I see there's another question over there. Yes, Mr. Kirit Patel. Kirit Bhai, both the buildings are a single development, but they are two separate buildings, the north side and the south side. So the north side got completed and has been almost leased out now. The south side just received its certificate of occupancy, and the leasing has already started out.
And they all come under the same project, Stadium 25. So when the client invests, they invest into sort of the parent company of both buildings.
Right. Any other questions or anything else we want to add, or anybody wants to ask question?
I think we can bring it to a conclusion.
Okay. So anyway, thank you very much, guys, for joining us. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Sachin. We were live on YouTube, so it's all being recorded and everything. So we'll put it on a YouTube. So it will be available as a link as well. So we will distribute it again to all our subscribers and send them so they can watch these whole things as and when they want to see it. So the main part of the presentation is being recorded. Right.
Great. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Jack. Thanks, Sachin. It's great to have you. And on Monday, we are launching our this portal, Pajmera Capital, whereby we are putting all these things, all the different options together. So if you want to join for that one, you are welcome. I think you might have received the invitations or an invite for the. So we are doing it on Monday, 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sachin.
Okay.
Bye.
Cheers.